Welcome back. We're playing the Stanley Parable again. I got some fairly positive feedback from the previous couple of videos, so I figured let's go in. Let's see if we can find a couple more endings.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
The clock is still moving at the same pace. Oop. There we go. The end is never the end. Let's not close that door again then. Let's move on. Wondering whether I should maintain my protocol of turning off. You know, I think you've probably seen me turning the monitors off enough in the previous installments. Username access. Ooh, awaiting input. Input received. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's go down this corridor here. And
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left door. Let's do what we're told for this bit. Open any of these.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
And then the meeting room
Feeling
again.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Broom closet. Let's go in the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet,
Yep.
but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Oh no, on the contrary, there's some duct tape, a wrench, any wrenches, a thing.
There was nothing here. No choice to make,
broom.
no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
I like it.
No reason to still be here.
No, I'm going to stay. Got a mop bucket with water in it. Maybe.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom
It's
closet.
a trick. Yep.
He wasn't even doing anything.
At
least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
No,
As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sweet FA. It's what I've been told to do. Someone said. So yeah, since the previous video, I did do it.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing?
I looked on the wiki.
Why?
Yeah.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because the wiki said I should. It's how I do this bit with the broom closet. I'm doing what the wiki says. Because I've looked on the wiki now.
There's no choice or anything in here, right?
Oh well, this is a
If I'd
choice.
said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
No, I made the
It
choice
didn't
to come in
occur
here.
Because literally, this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Every
I never
second,
would have thought to mention it.
every second I stay in here, I'm making a choice to stay in here. Don't you get that?
To you, this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Oh, I get it now. Yes. Thank you. Did you get the broom closet
Stanley
ending?
was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Ah!
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money.
Stick it
also,
up your
Stanley
nose.
is addicted to drugs and hookers.
No, you won't make me move.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Well, that's a theory.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
Well, thank you.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Maybe? Yeah, okay, he's gone quiet.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
What a bet.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
What do we think? Is that the broom closet ending? Yeah. Let's move on.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What's downstairs? Ooh, something. Oh, we went there before once, didn't we? Was that where we went round in circles for hours and hours? Yeah, it's not where I want to go right now. Oh. Oh, sorry. I thought that made the noise of openableness. Let's head through here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Come on.
Shocked,
I can't remember the code. Get to
Stanley
it.
wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Hit me.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Which is?
2845. But of course, Stanley could, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Brilliant.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
So, I think I went down here, didn't I? So yeah, my plan for this bit is to get the sort of the default ending, the correct ending, the one that you get if you follow the instructions. I'm going to do that now. And I also, well, as I said, I've done a little bit of research on the wiki to find out about various things I may have missed, and there is an entire section that I've barely touched upon.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Dum dum dum.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Mind Control Facility. Let's do that. Hello. Boop.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What
Hello.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Of course I do. We've been here once before. Bad things happened that time. They're not going to happen this time. Boop.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Boop.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah, guess so.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Never.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Going
Had
up.
he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Nope. A thing.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Yes.
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Damn right.
For he would dismantle the controls
I shall.
once and for all.
I will. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it now. System power off. On. Off. That was abrupt.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Yay.
Freedom was mere
bird.
moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Well, quite.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Yes.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
Oh, wow.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Oh, it's the countryside.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
When it's open.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin. The feeling of liberation.
Control has been wrested from me. That's ironic, isn't it?
Path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So yeah, that's the basic sort of the good ending. But there's other endings. Onwards!
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, he doesn't.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Yep, I do.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I've seen the employee lounge before. Here it is.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But
Yep.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay. So we've been through there many times, but I don't think we've ever been through here. This is new.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Come on, narrator, tell me what to do. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. Will cause death.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every
I'm
decision
interested
by
to
yourself.
make my way down there.
I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her? Alright, well for now
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
Nope.
To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who is her?
She's been waiting.
Okay, well, I guess we're being shepherded through this door.
That's her, Stanley.
Oh, this is a bit David
You
Lynch.
need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
This all seems very domestic.
There we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
What?
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
Oh.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
What?
I'm trying to get you to see something.
What?
Come inside. Let me show
Fine.
you what's really going on here.
Okay. Hello, mannequin.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh, is it now? Good morning, employee 427. Press K on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Please press I. I'm going to press P. I'm going to press K again. M, U,
Look at
I.
him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Press Z.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
1 to watch. What if I press 2? No, 1.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Okay, let's spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either.
Oh,
At last,
we're getting very meta.
choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Prepared it up. Okay, move aside, love.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
Yeah, I remember that.
And down
Happened
another
not too
was
long
a yellow
ago.
line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press 5 to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Now, is that an O or a 0? Let's try O.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be?
Desky.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Let's go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Now the question is, how long am I going to stare at this for? Still staring. I'm going to try 5 again to tell my kids a story. Come on. Okay, fine. Press M.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I will press P. I will question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Oh.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.